So thank you so much for joining us. I don't need to tell you that our audience, I think, is very much with the same kind of spirit as you on this immigration issue. It's a big issue, and I think they very much agree with the proposal that you've laid out. But just remind us, what are the key elements of that?
Well, first, Steve, thank you for shining a light on this topic. You know, first of all, America is built, it's a country of immigrants. You know, we're all derivatives of immigrant families who came to America to find the American dream in one way or the other. And what we've done is we've gotten off track in the last 50 years or so here in the United States. So what we've done is looked at best practices around the world to say, okay, what can we do to address this issue? So what we did is we found Australia, we found Canada, who have a system that's pro-worker, it's pro-growth, and it's been proven to work. It's based on a point system based on several variables, and these are malleable. You can move these around. And it's a merit-based immigration system that allows people to qualify. It gets rid of this country quota system that we've had for 30 years here or more, and it eliminates the biases that come with that.
So what's the country? I didn't know that there was a
we have an X percentage of the total can only come from each country is limited to X percent of the total that we bring in.
Each country in the world?
Yes, sir. Wow. And so you have a long line of people from certain countries because they have more than enough qualified workers to get in, but they can't get in because they've reached their country quota. Huh. Now, you talk about being xenophobic. In my mind, the current practice that we have in the United States is very much xenophobic because it limits people by country.
So given how sensible it is in the eyes of many people, where are we? Is it going to happen? What stage of the process are we in?
Well, we think we should have bipartisan support here. It was actually a Democratic idea back in the early 90s, as we talked about under Bill Clinton and George H.W. Bush, in that bipartisan commission headed up by Barbara Jordan, who was a Democrat. Came to a conclusion that we needed to move in this direction of a point system and bring in workers who are qualified for the needs of our economy. Where we are right now is we're working with Democrats to try to find bipartisan support, and we're trying to piece it in with regard to the tax package that we're trying to get passed right now in Congress. But I believe we'll get bipartisan support on this bill because it's so common sense, and it is pro-job, pro-worker, and pro-growth. And it's been proven, I mean, in Canada and Australia. So this is not an experiment, that we know this will work. The opportunity now is if we get this base of legal immigrants solved and start moving qualified people into the job force, we will absolutely dramatically impact our economy. And let me give you an example. If you look at today, only 1 in 15 immigrants come into our country come in to work. Mm-hmm. And because of that,
say that again.
1 out of 15.
I'd heard that before, but even as you say it again, it's so striking.
It is striking, and what happens is a lot of the people come in and get trapped because they're not qualified for some of the jobs that are available, and so half of the immigrant households in America are in our welfare system. Well, nobody wants that for them, and so this is a way to try to protect both them and the other workers that are coming in. So I'm optimistic we can do it. It's common sense, it's been proven to work. And actually, it's pro-worker, and that's the most encouraging thing, I think. Somebody that is rewarded in this system is somebody coming out of our technical school, somebody that's coming out of a graduate program gets more points than somebody getting a bachelor's degree. Somebody in an engineering program gets a little more than, say, a lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got plenty of those.
Exactly. And so what we have now is a competition for labor around the world, for technical workers. And so this gives us a little more level playing field. Let me tell you why it's so important, Steve. We are in a cyber war today. We really are. We all know it. It's hard to quantify what is an act of warfare in the cyber world, but I believe years from now we'll look back at this point in time in history and we'll see that certain acts have been perpetrated that qualify as acts of war. We will see that. Well, one of the ways you defend yourself is to have the best and the brightest talent in the world. Why wouldn't we do that? And we always did that. That's one of the things that helped create this economic miracle over the last 70 years, is we had the best qualified people in the world. Look at our nuclear capability today. Came from immigrants.
Yeah.
A lot of the technical developments that we have in the 20th century came from people who came here after World War II. Yeah. Why wouldn't we want to welcome those people? Those people get excluded today.
Well, this is the argument that I've been trying to make for many, many years, not just here, but back in the UK, is that wanting to control immigration is not being anti-immigrant or anti-foreign.
Oh, no, we want to be welcoming. No, the best thing we could do is to find we need more than 140,000, okay, and change that number. That means that we're out-competing the rest of the world for the best and brightest minds in the world. And if we grow the economy, that's exactly what will happen.
Great. Well, good luck to you. I hope you can.
Well, we're working hard.
I hope your optimism is justified and we can make this happen quickly.
We've got to. We've got to.
Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Appreciate it.